to Romancing the Dungeon, a softcore D&D adventure about 4 heroes on the greatest quest of all, to find true love. Last time on Romancing the Dungeon.
You've gotten yourself mixed up in something serious. My associates, they won't get involved with the Flatstones. I got an appointment after Garthok put in a good word for me.
He bought potions from the temple as well.
Best think of a way to get yourselves out of the city because the guards are looking for you. You're moving as quietly and as stealthily as possible, and you're going through the woods. Well. That was far easier than I thought it would be. Out of one of the wings of the house march Nana and Rash, almost in unison with their steps. A guard has a blade to Nana's throat.
Norris, you suck so much. And I just chuck my sword into the ground.
A figure stands. Well, Norris, you kept your end of the deal. And the shadow moves to the other side, pulls back the hood, and you see the burnt, disfigured form of Ardat.
Are you lonely, miserable, or just plain horny? Well, you've taken the first steps to solving your problems. At least your dating ones. Welcome to D8. Devoted, desired, dreamy or dirty. Dapper dates for dejected daters. My name is Roz Greypurse, founder, CEO, and love wizard. And I'm legally required to apologize for the huge data breach from our app on the Sending Stones. Thousands of you perverts have had your personal information and filthy secrets aired more than a drying cupboard, but rest assured, I've tried nothing, and I'm probably not going to either. That'll teach you to read our T's and C's. To get started, please fill out the attached questionnaire. Question 22. If you could go back in time and change one thing, what would it be?
I'll be the first to admit that I'm, not the greatest guy, and I've made a lot of mistakes, hurt a lot of people. But I think out of all of those regrets that I have, if I had to change anything, I would have bought those pair of pants. I mean, they just make my ass look so great, and the fact that people won't get to see me in them is truly a tragedy.
Tick under the kill column. I guess the one thing I'd go back and change would be my first kiss. Ugh.
If I could go back in time and change something, I don't have many regrets, but I guess there's a few people I'd probably close myself off to more, reveal a little bit less of who I am. Self-protection.
This Thane's tidbit is, well, if I could go back in time and change one thing, I would write better answers on this questionnaire because no one has gotten in contact, and that is what it is. Love me or don't. If you can't take me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best.
Which are pretty much the same thing. Oh boy.
The 4 of you are led across the Flatstom estate. 2 huge, grand white doors that lead into kind of an open, what looks like kind of a long dining room. But you are ushered in through a side wing and corridor. You find yourselves being marched through the kitchen. The entire time, Norris is kind of giggling, and he's utterly thrilled with himself. Like, he's elated. This is the happiest he's been in weeks, not since he's got his hands back on Eugenia. The kitchen is bigger than all of your apartments and abodes combined.
They have apartments?
Well, yeah, I was about to say, except you, Thane. Yeah. This place is tiny because the city is your home. Yeah. Which is the nice way of saying...
He's a smelly outside person.
It seems to have every sort of utensil and gadget going, and you could hear the occasional rattling of pipes overhead. The heat coming out of this place, it would be relaxing if you weren't shackled and being led through this kitchen. But the guards come to a stop, and Norris stands at a slanted doorway that leads down. The doors are pulled open by 2 guards, and it's just dark. And Norris just kind of holds up his hands and he just kind of wiggles his fingers a little bit, like he's stubby little fingers, and lights flicker, and you can just see a torch after torch after torch lights.
As we pass Norris, I just make eye contact with him. I'm like, this place is fucking tacky. You've no taste.
You put the whore in horticulture.
Oh, believe me, Thane, when I'm done with you and my sister, the whole place will get a lovely redecoration.
Great. Can't wait to see it.
You'll be dead, Thane. But your head may be on one of these walls, who knows?
Better dead than being in here. Look shit.
The guards kind of look at each other. Huh? What?
I try so hard.
He does. He tries.
Charisma 7. My smack talk took a huge hit.
You smack talk like I rap.
So you're doing it to yourself at this point. You took 2 charisma points off him, so he's gotten worse.
Damn it.
This is your fault.
As the 4 of you are led down, Arda stands at the top of the cellar looking in. You all just feel his eyes linger on the back of your heads. And Fia, as you turn to look back, you see that his form is changed and he's in full incubus forms. And his wings, though burnt and shredded, are on full display, and his eyes just glow red. A guard kind of shuffles you down the stairs further, and the 4 of you find yourselves in a basement that's dimly lit. There's a small table, a chair, a steel bowl of water on the floor. There are some casks and boxes that have all been kind of moved to one side of this room. And as you take in the space in front of you, it looks to be about 50 foot wide and about 20 feet deep. The other side of the cellar, like I said, these casks and boxes have been moved. And they seem to have put in makeshift cells. And you're each led to one.
We don't even get to bunk up.
As the 4 of you are shoved into these cells and the doors are locked, Norris just kind of, as he kind of makes his way to the stairs, he turns back. Nana, Rash, watch. Good boy. And Nana just almost robotically takes a seat in that chair next to the table, and Rash sits by her side, just staring at the cells. Their eyes are completely washed over. Well, I'll see you shortly. Ta-ta. And he flits up the stairs, the guards kind of following behind him. The door is slammed shut. 1 or 2 of the torches at the top of the stairs goes out. Nana and Rash don't wince.
Can I just sort of investigate the room? I want to
Okay.
check for anything
Big
at
hole
all.
in the wall, like walk through.
Oh, right there. Exit.
I'm wondering about these cages as well. Are they all attached, or
So,
like
yeah.
like a cage wall between each of us, kind of stuff?
It's literally, these bars have been buried into the floor and the ceiling.
Yeah.
With a door fashioned at one stage, but there's bars between each of your cells. And there's less than a 3-inch gap between the bars the whole way down. So in order of closest to the stairs moving, it is Nate, Fia, Thane, Hephaestus, and the 5th cell.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, were we able to actually, like, look across and see each other?
Yeah, you can.
Okay,
Yep.
perfect.
We're still cuffed as
You're
well.
still shackled. Yep. Your
Okay.
feet are still bound. Norris is an idiot. Feet, hands are shackled.
Great.
The cell doors are locked. And as you kind of watch Norris leave, you can't help but see that the bars are made out of the same metal with the same sigils and runes as the shackles.
Great.
Since we were all shackled up, it would have been really hard to, like, take a jacket off.
Yeah.
And perhaps our gear.
No, your weapons are gone.
Okay.
As soon as he's gone, I just kind of like scream to myself and sort of like throw my body against the bars.
I slump down onto the ground as well, turning my back to Nana and Rash, and I want to check my armor because it's held together with little metal clasps. I want to see if I can get one of them off and start fashioning it into some sort of lockpick.
All right, MacGyver.
Just trying anything I can to get out.
Give me an acrobatics check with disadvantage.
Okay. Oh, 6.
You can't. Theo. So you've all just heard Hephaestus slam into the bars and just scream. Hephaestus, she didn't say anything. She didn't get out. But Fia, you've kind of just ignored her. You slump down to the ground with your back to Nana and Rash, and you just with your hands kind of bound so tightly together, you're trying to maneuver them closer to your armor and your vestments, and you can't get a grip
on it,
to pull them free. Your hand, it's actually cutting into your wrist as you try to move. They're pinching.
Great.
I kind of Thane walks up to the front of his cell and kind of really grabs the bars tight and just like dead eye stares at Nana as if he's going for like the
Your perception check.
yeah.
I roll investigation.
Yeah, please. Sorry. Yeah.
Ooh, that is 18.
I got a 23.
Thank you. Thane, you grab the bars and you just, again, your knuckles almost go white with the grip. You just stare hard at Nana. She's looking at you, but she's not. She's looking through you, effectively. She hasn't blinked. You see her chest kind of rising and falling every now and again, but there isn't a response from her.
And is there much different about like her attire or Rash's attire? They're just
They look the exact same, but both their eyes are just completely awash. And Nana had sort of even when shit hit the fan, and with you, Sykes, Rash, and her, shit hit the fan a lot. She always had this kind of cheeky kind of grin on her face, but this is it's just blank. There's just nothing there. Nate, you see Nana and Rash sitting at that table next to stack and wall of casks and boxes. The stair leading up to the cellar door, but you can't see around the corner of that, but you can just still see the stairs kind of in front of your cell. The cells are empty. There isn't a pot to piss in. But you, as I said, you literally see Fia in the cell next to you, Thane next to her, Hephaestus, and at the end of the cellar, you can just see a form lying in the dirt.
Festa, who? What's that in the last cell?
I'll look over.
Lying in the dirt with their back to you, you just see a figure, a dirty blue and white dress. They're lying there almost motionless.
I don't know. Who cares?
Are they alive?
I don't know. Who cares? Jesus. Can I try and poke my foot between the bars a little bit and just...
You won't reach.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, you can occasionally see kind of their chest, their form kind of shifting, but it's labored. It's like a staggered breath.
I don't know. They look kind of alive.
Eugenia? Eugenia, is that you?
Colin?
No, it's Nate.
Nate? Nathaniel?
Yeah.
Hephaestus, you see this figure kind of push itself, like their hands into the dirt, and you can see so much bruising on their forearms where they're and rope burn, but they push themselves up and their hands are actually shaking. They're in this pale paisley blue and white dress. Her hair is now a wispy. It's just fallen, and you can see, she had styled her hair in a way to try and hide parts of it that had kind of fallen out and she'd lost. But she's lying there, and Eugenia looks so old. She looks like a shell of herself. Nate, across even all that distance, you can just see so much sadness in her eyes.
I'm sorry, Eugenia. We tried to come and get you, and we got caught.
Who's we?
All of us?
Hello.
I just sort of wave at her, right in front of you.
Where's Colin?
Kind of give Nate a look gritting my teeth I don't know, man.
Colin's not here.
Oh. Would one of you tell him I'm ready for my painting lesson? And she kind of tries to pick herself up, and she holds on to the bar closest. She's kind of maneuvered over, and she holds herself up, and she kind of just dusts herself off. Oh, my word! He can't possibly see me like this. I'm in an absolute state. Heavens! Would you be a dear, please, and fetch me a water basin?
Yeah, sure, the second I get out of this cell.
That would be lovely.
Have you seen Norris?
My brother? I believe he's in the city. He has some business to attend, I believe he said this morning.
Where did you get those bruises?
Oh, I was very clumsy. I was out in the garden and I was... Cook told me not to, but I went picking and I fell from the tree.
Why were you in the tree?
I was picking apples. Colin loves apple pie.
Honey, Colin's dead.
Hephaestus.
He's dead. He's dead serious
What?
about completing your painting lessons. He's really interested and thinks you've great potential.
My Colin's not dead.
He's very dead.
Hephaestus.
Dead
Look,
serious.
she can't help us out of here if she's deluded.
You can see the woman's already suffering. Don't make it worse for her.
Please don't raise your voice at my handmaid.
Excuse me?
Eugenia, she's not a handmaid.
Thank you.
This is Hephaestus, our friend. You're in a jail cell right now, Eugenia.
Am I?
Yes, your brother has put you here.
Whatever did I do?
Nothing.
Oh, then this is probably just one of his silly games. Norris is... He's a silly little boy.
How
He's
did
an asshole.
how do your games usually go, Eugenia? Is there a way to get out, or how do you usually win?
Oh, Norris will come and find me eventually.
Yeah, I bet he will.
Eugenia, I don't know, but I think, and I point over at Nana and Rash, I think these two of your employees are sort of sleeping on the job here. I don't know if you want to...
And she turns to have a look at Nana and Rash. That's a funny looking little dog. I don't know her.
Why don't you try call her over?
Nate?
Yeah?
Why are we in the cell?
Norris threw us in here. He wants to take over the estate. And he can't do that with you around.
Then this must be one of his games. Norris wouldn't do that, Nathaniel. You don't know him like I do.
I mean, I know he's the one that had Colin killed.
Nate, I believe this woman is a friend of yours?
Yeah?
Why is she saying such hurtful things?
Eugenia, I'm sorry, but it's true.
I know it hurts, but yeah, she's not wrong.
Pepper, what time is it? And she looks at you again, Hephaestus.
I don't know, because I'm locked in a cell in a basement.
Are we having our painting lesson in the basement? Is this some fun little ploy that Colin had?
Nothing about this is fun.
Pepper.
Hephaestus.
Eugenia, why don't you get some rest and we'll call you when Colin is ready for the painting lesson.
I think that's for the best. I'm feeling kind of tired. I'm feeling cold. Where's Colin?
He'll be here soon. Have a rest.
Yeah, he said he was delayed.
She shuffles over to the other side of the cell against the wall, and she leans into it and bundles herself up.
I look back at Nate to see how he's doing.
I just sort of shrug my shoulders. I don't know.
How are we going to get out of this?
Can I try to Eldritch Blast the bars?
Give me a roll of a d20.
Okay. Is that the only thing I need to roll?
Yeah.
13.
You focus and you're so fucking mad right now. And you feel the fire in you just blistering. And then as you conjure it, the shackles on your hands and the bars in the cell in front of you and to your right and to your left just glow as each of the runes and sigil lights up. And you just feel a searing pain under the shackles. Roll the d4 for damage. You all see Hephaestus' cell light up, and then her wrists light up, and then she drops to her knees, screaming.
Yo, Nana.
There's no response.
Nana. Hello? Okay.
Nothing. You huck a lob of spit, and it hits Nana just kind of on the right of her face, facing you. She doesn't react. You just see it literally, it hits her on the face, and then it just snails down her cheek, and then drips onto her chest.
Cool, well now I feel bad.
It's okay, she looks worse. Is it pretty clear at this point that Nana and Rash are like charmed some sort?
Give me an Arcana check.
Ooh. Okay, it's not to do with Fey Fiends or Undead, but that's 18.
It doesn't look like any charm you've seen before, Thane.
But it's definitely a charm.
You don't know what it is, because they don't. The people in the Temple of Devotion and Purity, they weren't like this. They were
Yeah.
still happy. They were still responsive. They still engaged. They were annoying, but
They were people.
they were people. Nana literally just looks like an empty vessel. So does Rash.
That sucks. And I hit my shackles super hard off the bars. Like, really, really, really hard.
Give me a strength check.
Yes, I will. That is a 17.
You slam your shackles against the bar. There's just a ringing of iron striking iron throughout the basement cellar. Your hands throb.
I kind of internalized that and I turned to Fia, who's beside me. What if we pretend one of us is dying?
I think saying that out loud doesn't kind of help the situation.
What if it was Eugenia?
I think she is dying.
I
But-
think that's what they want.
But what if we... no, if they wanted her dead, she'd be super dead by now.
Give it us.
No, us, definitely. But what if...
It's Nars. He's probably got some sort of twisted, dramatic ending planned or something for her.
Yeah, if we lure someone down here, I don't know, we could at least get someone to talk to.
I've got a plan.
Hit me.
Great.
I sit down on the floor.
Here we go.
I lie down on the floor
Here we go.
and I go to sleep.
You're going to try and sleep?
Yeah.
Useful as always.
Yep. Nate says he has a plan, and then he just
Goes to sleep.
falls to the floor and lies down.
Nate, what the hell are you doing?
I mean, like, have you got any other ideas? Or
I don't know, but maybe being awake and thinking of things might help.
Look, up until this point, every time I've tried to do something, I've failed. So, my plan...
It's to stop trying and give up.
Yes and no.
You're giving up.
Yes for now, because right now nothing... I can't really see anything happening right now. We're in a very magic cage. Everyone is unresponsive. I think we need to wait for our opportunity to come to us. Because we may just hurt ourselves in the process of trying to do anything else.
Maybe I can bash my face against the bars long enough that I just die.
No, you'd knock yourself unconscious first.
I want to try and I want to try again, try and get something off of my armor to help me pick locks.
Acrobatics check with disadvantage.
9.
No, it's the same thing. Every time you go to kind of flick your wrist around, just try and grab it, you just feel the skin pinching tighter and tighter, and then you actually feel it kind of cut into you a little bit this time.
I kind of yelp out a little bit from that one.
For once, Nate might not be wrong.
Seriously, you too?
What are we doing, Fia?
I don't know.
He has an army out there.
I just don't want to get dragged off in my sleep.
Well, I'm not saying sleep, but Jesus. We can bash our arms against the bars and we can shout at each other and we can yell at Nana, but...
And I'll take first watch then if you guys want to sleep.
I'm not sleeping.
I can make real loud noise with this, and I just start clanking my
Please stop.
things over the bars.
Please stop.
Over and back.
Please stop.
And I stop. Does anyone come downstairs?
Nope.
Fuckers.
I just walk over to the wall and kind of slump down and lean against it and stare into the distance.
I kind of lie against the bars and kind of a huff. Just annoyed with everyone.
I'm giving up, but angrily.
When you're stuck and there's no obvious solution or way out of that predicament, whether it's trapped in a cage or trapped in your own head, time doesn't behave normally. And you don't know if it's seconds or minutes or hours that you've been down here. But the four of you, Eugenia, Nana, and Rash, are just sitting or lying in the dim light in this cellar. And all you hear overhead is just the sounds of stuff being moved and dragged. You can hear people kind of shouting occasionally, but nobody comes. The door to the cellar doesn't open once.
Fia,
Yeah.
how do you stay so positive all the time?
I guess it's something I kind of taught myself to do.
Even now.
I have to. Especially now.
Why?
Because if I don't, I'll fall apart. And then what good am I? Not that I'm not much good normally, but I mean, it's the only thing I got to lean on.
Fia, you're not useless.
My brother would beg to differ sometimes. I love him and he's great, and I know he'd do anything for me, and I'd do anything for him, but sometimes he can be a little too harsh, I guess. Especially after...
for you.
Of course he would. There's only me and him. I don't have anyone else but him. Especially after Dad died. It's like... It's not as if Mom leaving didn't fuck us up anyway as well on top of that, you know?
You don't have to rely on bad people.
He's not bad. Yeah, he does some shitty stuff sometimes, but I mean... He can't move past... He can't move... He was never able to move past Mom leaving. I think it's because... I don't remember her. Not at all. I wish I did. But he does, and I think that hurts him a lot.
His problems are not your fault.
No, they're not, but he's my brother.
Look, You're so sweet, and it's going to get you hurt. And I'm not saying to be a heartless bitch like me, but you could use to toughen up a little.
Yeah, I know I could. He does say that to me too. But I try to stay positive, not just for me. I try to stay positive for him too. I don't want him worrying about me. But he does. I get myself into trouble a lot.
You can take care of yourself. I've seen it.
I get there eventually, I suppose. But I just have to keep positive. I have to try and find that light at the end of the tunnel. If I didn't, I don't know if I'd be able anymore.
Yeah, I know what that's like. I sort of turn away.
Hey, Fia,
Yeah.
do you remember that time you killed that dog?
He's sitting right there. You're like, yeah, he doesn't have his soul by the looks of it, but he's still alive.
We don't know that wasn't your fault.
Oh, come on.
I said a nice thing. I have to take it back now.
I've taught you well.
I kind of start laughing a little bit. Do you really have to bring that up now?
I mean, I don't know. God, and that orgy. Do you remember that big orgy, that big mountain of body?
No.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
Ooh, blocking that out.
How do people even breathe in that?
Oh,
Guys, you're gross. Shut up. Ew. Oh,
We'll just let that linger for a minute.
no. It's funny to think if it wasn't for Thane, we never would have met each other, I suppose, as well.
Please don't blame me.
No.
I mean, we all have these marks on us, and we're all stuck in a prison because of Nate's crazy brother-in-law. So,
yeah.
Yeah, you've got yourself mixed up in some weird shit before, but this is a whole new level even for you.
I mean, that it like, I can't... It's not like completely my fault, I don't think. Like, I just had a few drinks and I woke up married. I mean, like, we've all been there in one way or another. Some shape or form.
Thane just kind of like coughs uncomfortably.
Oh, did we...
Yeah? You want to tell us about the time you got wasted and woke up married?
I'm tired.
Oh.
Oh, come on, silent and broody.
No,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah,
only...
hey, you never share anything. Look at us putting our hearts out there. Look, we're all going to die in a minute anyway. Now's your time to confess your sins.
Might as well be positive, right, Fia?
Yeah, might as well try.
Yeah. You guys are really bringing it out in me. I'll really put my heart out there. Fia, do you remember the first time when we were hanging out in the Prancing Mule and Ella came up to us
Yeah.
and tried serving us drinks? Do you know what you said to me after she left? Do you remember?
Yeah, that she was really into you.
You were technically not wrong, because now we're all stuck with this on
It
our
was super
butt.
cute. She was really jonesing for you.
What you actually said was that was the first sign of forever. And I hope you're wrong.
Shit, Fia called it.
Fia called it.
Oh, fuck's sake, Fia.
Now we're stuck here. What's it been, a month? Maybe?
I don't know, time isn't real anymore.
Kind of blame Pandora and Lavender for that. A little bit. I mean, look, we're going to get out of this. I'm going to kill the shit out of Ardit. And... I don't know. Let's see what happens.
Sure, we'll get out of it.
Well, Festa's right. You've never really opened up to us before. Like, I only know you because of my brother. He got me the job with you.
That's true.
But, I mean, what about you before all of this?
What about me before all this?
Did you always have the blood penis?
What?
Sorry?
What are you on about?
Yes. I've always had the blood penis. Now.
Ew, gross! When did you see that?
That's boy talk.
Morbid
Yeah, no,
curiosity is getting too much for me.
Oh, no, la 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 la.
Whip it out!
See, you said it right there. She's innocent. You know, we can't talk about these things.
No, you go talk. I'm
in
not
front of
listening.
her. And Nate's wife is here. You know, like,
Oh, I don't think she's listening.
yeah, I don't think she's all here. But no, I'm just Thane, going around doing jobs, making money, staying simple and easy, until all this. So you know. But
Did you not ever, I don't know, have anyone in your life, I suppose? I mean, we know Nate and Festa had each other for a while.
I hear they had each other a lot.
But what about you?
Family, friends, boyfriends, girlfriends.
No, just me.
Just you.
Just me.
So you've always been alone?
Yeah. It's fine. There's plenty of work to be doing, and there's plenty of nice people that you get to work with. Does the same thing, really.
Well, look, at least you got us now. We can sort of work
Aren't
on.
you lucky?
I firmly believe we'll luck our way out of this one way or another. Yeah, I mean, we do pretty all right. We're here. I mean, okay, wait. No. We're
Point me.
we're past the things that we were at that were worse than this, and we're still here.
Then
Were
we
they
still have to
ever
go
worse than this?
revisit those.
The last time we had to deal with an incubus, there was a succubus. So now
And I
there's
don't think he's very happy for that reason.
no. I'm pretty sure he's pissed off at me for killing his wife person thing.
Sister.
She's a bitch.
Oh yeah, it was his sister.
They're so hot, though. So, how do you think they're going to kill us?
Oh, it's gonna be long. There's gonna be some torture involved.
I bet you it's some really elaborate ritual because Ardit's here and he loves magic and stupid shit.
Drama queen, isn't he?
I don't know. I guess if this is the end, I'm very glad I met all of you.
Oof.
I know we've annoyed each other and pissed each other off and got into more trouble than we can possibly handle, but I am glad that I met you all.
Yeah, I won't lie. It's been definitely a lot more interesting than those other boring like they can't hear me now because they're clearly weirded out. But Nana, Sykes, and Rash, it's zero fun.
Nana and Rash flinch.
Nana?
There's no response.
And like Nana is like always doing this like flirting thing with me. Like Tana's just rolling on this now. It's like giving me these looks and like we're fighting, but she's winking at me.
I
And
thought
it's
she was
like,
with Sykes.
She flinches again.
but like,
Sykes?
who knows if she's even? I mean,
Both of them are now kind of sitting up, a little bit more alert.
I've heard the dog watches.
Thane, shh. Sykes, Nana, Sykes is looking for you.
You just see Nana's face kind of twists and Rash, his ears perk a little bit. And for a moment, there's just kind of a flicker of light in her eyes.
Nana, Sykes is looking for you.
He's alive.
He's alive. He's looking for you. He's looking for you and Rash.
He sent us to come and get you.
Tane like grabs the bars. He's super hurt.
Shh.
Help
Nana,
me.
How?
God.
She winces and then she just falls to the ground screaming and holding her head. And Rash just starts whimpering.
Nana, it's okay. We're going to help you. We're going to get you out of here. We're going to get you back to Sykes.
Just hang in there.
They both just stop moving and she picks herself up and she goes to sit in the seat. And you can see that there's a little blood coming out of both Nana and Rash's right ears.
Fia cups her hands up around her mouth in kind of shock seeing this.
Tane just kind of like flicks his fingers like, come on, Nana. We have to get that pint at the Copper Rabbit. Remember? I kicked your ass. You kicked mine. We have to drink over it and laugh and maybe hit each other again and rematch and, you know.
She doesn't respond.
Nana, please.
You all hear at the top of the stairwell, the bolt for the cellar door slides open. And a crack of light just ekes its way in and it kind of fills the stairwell. And then heavy footsteps. Just as he reaches the final four, his form shifts from incubus to human. He's wearing these thick, heavy robes draped over kind of a hooded cowl. And you see that as he kind of steps into the light, you didn't really have a chance to take all of him in when you were being escorted through the mansion. But you can see that his face, like the right side of his face, is charged. Like there's just burns. His right arm is pretty much the same. His right eye it's scarred. Like it's completely milky. And there's a few kind of bloody veins sort of prominently kind of eked against that white. I take it you've all had some time to reminisce, ponder your inevitable deaths. Oh, please tell me you're talking about how you're all going to die.
We were actually just at this one part where we were reminiscing about going to this nice temple, getting nice food, and I can't remember where we left off there, but it was something happened.
I think we were talking about how hot you used to be.
And how dead your sister is.
Oh
That's
my God.
right. That's right. I threw his sister into a gelatinous cube.
Oh, and then she dissolved into nothing.
Yeah, and
That was pretty cool.
And then
He
you're ugly.
bites his teeth to the point that you can actually, he's bitten through his lip and there's just blood trickling down his mouth. Don't you even mention her.
Lilu?
He walks over to Nana and his hand shifts into claws and he just slices Nana's face. She doesn't even react. Say her name again.
Why don't you do that to one of us who can fight back?
Oh, no, Thane, you don't understand. There's a process that we're going through here, and right now we are letting you all simmer and wait. But now that I seem to have all of your attention again, do I? Good. Nana, clean yourself up. And she just gets up, just blood tracing down her face. It's a deep, deep cut. She just heads upstairs. Rash doesn't move, doesn't flinch. I believe we were talking about you pondering your fates. Entertain me. We have some catching up to do, I believe.
We're not dancing puppets.
Oh, you will be. And he gestures at Anna. Oh. Last time we met, you were a good deal more talkative than this.
Why don't you get us started, Arded? Why don't you tell us where you've been, how you met Norris? Give us your grand evil scheme.
Oh, yes, it's that part now where I reveal all that we've been doing and we tie up all those little loose ends.
You'd be surprised how many people have said that to me before I killed them. It actually works.
I tell you what. And he sits down on the chair and he crosses his leg and he just cups his knee between his two hands. You can see that there's blood under his fingernails on his left hand. We have some time. They're still making final preparations for the ceremony. And he looks over at Nate. I came here to actually kill Norris Flatstom.
Good job.
But then he offered me something a little bit more tempting. And he was even fit to use his demented sister, and he gestures with his head over towards Eugenia's cell, as bait, knowing that the four of you couldn't resist the damsel in distress. It's a bit of a tired trope, isn't it? After all, she's a diddery old bat. What has she ever actually done for anybody?
Well, I mean, she paid the money to build the library. She's done quite a lot for this city, funnily enough.
Oh. Weren't you all in the slums? Great old city is Tezrab, but it's slums. No?
She tried.
Probably could have tried a bit harder.
As opposed to her brother who does so much for everybody.
Oh, Norris has plans. And if I let him live, he might get to see some of those through. I haven't quite decided if I'm going to kill him yet. There's a part of me that's still quite angry about that whole thing.
We have first dibs.
You're not going to get dibs, Thane. You are going to be marched out of your cells in chains, of course, can't forget those. Brought to the ceremony. The ritual will take place, and I am going to make you watch as one by one I drain every fucking ounce of spirit out of you. And I bottle it. And then I'll let you watch as I kill them. one by one, until only one of you remains. And that will be quick, because by then I'll probably be bored. Oh, I seem to have gotten sidetracked. I'm just a little bit excited about the upcoming event.
No, it sounds familiar. That same thing you were doing in the temple, taking
Oh,
people's
this
essence.
is so much more, though, Thane. And I think I've got you to thank for that.
I mean, you can thank me by letting me out.
No, I'm just going to give you a platitude. Thank you. Losing Lilu. Losing her. I didn't have anything else. And I came here for revenge. Still might take it. As I said, I haven't decided. It pushed me. I like to think I've perfected the ritual that she and I were using. And that was small fish. What we're doing now, it's the big stuff, boys and girls. Cosmic big. There's that silence.
We're just simmering.
Well, simmer a little longer. I have a ritual to prepare for. And a special date. On that mention, Eugenia starts to whimper. You can hear Hephaestus closer. Just, no, please, no, not again. And Ardat gets up, he dusts the back of his robes off, and he heads up the stairs. In due time, friends, in due time. And he heads up. And as he does, Nana passes him, and you see that she's cleaned the blood away, and her face is bandaged. And she resumes her seat.
I am going to kill him so hard, he will wish I killed him the first time.
There's just a ha at the top of the stairs, and the cellar door closes, and the bolt is dragged.
I just throw myself back against the wall again and slump down.
I tried to make eye contact with Nate to get him to walk over to the bars towards me.
I do that.
I grab his hands, pretending I'm crying, and I'm going to see if he can take the piece of metal off of my armor. So guide his hands to it.
Give me a roll of a d20, Nate.
Just straight.
Straight d20.
11.
Fia is kind of gesturing at some of the stitching and the wire in her armor that kind of gives it its shape and its frame, and kind of with your hands still kind of bound, you're kind of tugging at a part of it. You can feel kind of a hook almost, but you can't pull it through the armor.
Crap.
And is it like fabric or is it like...
It's leather.
It's leather?
Yeah.
And the wire's underneath the leather?
I'm trying to rub a rough edge of the shackle, if I can find one,
Against your own armor.
against the leather to loosen it up a bit, to soften it.
Give me a roll of a d20, and you can add your... Actually, you're not going to... Yeah, you can add your dex modifier.
15.
Using the shackles, you're actually tearing into the leather, so much so that you've actually shredded a little bit of it. So your AC has gone down by 1.
Okay.
But you've actually managed to catch part of the shackle into it, and that deeper tear, Nate, you can now see that where that wiring, that mesh was that you were trying to get at a few moments ago.
Well, I'll go at it again. And
Okay,
do you want to
roll a d20? Yeah.
Come on now. 18.
With that, you pull some of the wiring. Part of it does actually come away. It's like kind of an S hook that you've kind of snagged out. You're holding it really, really petitely in your fingers. That's literally all you've been able to get.
Okay.
I take the piece of metal back off him, and I'm going to see if I can undo his cuffs.
Give me a roll of a d20 for you.
Okay. 2.
You lose the hook down into the shackle.
Fuck.
Because I know our hands are bound at the wrist, so we can't actually stick them out through the bars. But I get like just my hands out, like the kind of tips of my fingers, and I look at Nana, and I'm just like, please, just come over here, just hold my hand. Remember who your friends are,
She doesn't react. She doesn't get up.
guys. If we can get her over here, I could break this charm that Ardit probably has on her. I think.
In the anti-magic cage.
In the anti-magic cage that we are in.
Whatever we did to her before clearly caused some kind of damage. I don't know if we can help her without making things worse.
I know, but it's such a tough spot. I mean, if we leave her here in the state she is, she might just be a test dummy for Ardit and Norris's nonsense.
I mean, like I called it. I did say every time we try, we fail.
So
You said every time you try, you fail.
True, yeah.
so far,
Exactly.
gonna turn it around. The next one, gonna knock it out of the park.
God, not two feels.
I don't have any of my stuff. Which means I don't have the tiara, which means Norris probably has it.
He's probably got my chest with that head in it too.
What?
What? Fear, we're trying to get out of here.
Oh, Jesus. I don't even want to know.
No, you don't.
I mean, guys, our stuff isn't even here. Like, who knows what's up those stairs?
What's the roof look like?
It's just stone.
Can I try to blast that?
Yep.
Like, I know the map. 18?
Nope. And roll a d4 for damage.
Holy shit. How high is that DC?
2?
Take 2 magic damage as, again, you concentrate and you feel that fire inside. You point your hands upwards and the shackles just glow red hot and the bars glow around you. You all hear the door, the bolt sliding.
Swear to God, if he's back to gloat.
The cellar door opens and you hear 2 sets of footsteps descending and the clanging of like armor. After a few moments, you see 2 guards have entered and they head towards the bottom of the cellar. They pass all of you. Nate, Thea, Thane, Hephaestus. They don't even look at Nana and Rash. And they stop outside Eugenia's cage. One of them approaches the door, takes a key, turns, the door opens, and the other steps inside, and Eugenia is lifted up. You just hear kind of a whimpering coming from her.
What are you doing?
They walk past Hephaestus.
Oh, there's
walk
something wrong with my shackles. Could you have a look, guard?
They walk past Thane. They walk past Fia.
Hey, no, hey, where are you going? No, stop.
Nate?
That's my wife.
Nate? Nate, help! There! Nate! And Eugenia just starts crying, and she's carried up the stairs. Save me! And the door closes.
I look at Nana and I say, you see how sad she was? That was Sykes without you and Rash. He's dead inside. He's probably going to be dead soon. Like all of us.
Well, you all see her face and Rash's face kind of contort. And then you can just see the bandages, the blood darkens.
Dane, no, you're hurting her.
Nana, just come over to me. Take my hand.
Doesn't react. She doesn't get up.
You know who won't be able to take your hand? Sykes. He can't even walk. Do you know what they did to him?
Thane, stop. You're hurting her.
Rash slumps to the ground. He's frothing at the mouth.
Oh, crap. Yeah, I stopped talking.
He stops moving.
Grab bars. Like, Rash is not moving.
Nope.
In a fit of anger, I rip my hands down it and I cast my Blood Maledict to heal him.
Give me a roll of a d20.
19.
Roll a d4.
2.
Take 2 damage. As you feel this power rising up in you, the shackles on your arms and the bars in your hands just glow red hot, and you burn. You all see Thane's cell light up.
I just crack my manacles against the cage and go sit in a corner.
I rest my head on one of the bars, looking down. I'm starting to feel a bit hopeless.
Do you want to go quickly or slowly?
Much rather quickly. But I don't think we're going to get that.
You can have some fun with a good torture session.
Yeah, I don't even want to bother casting a spell because I'm like, I've seen what happens. We gotta save her, guys. She's been fucked around by so many people, and not that I wanted it to happen, but she's my responsibility now. And I don't want to... I want to be positive, but I honestly just don't know what to do.
Tane from like the back corner of his cell just pipes up. Like you said, we're just gonna have to wait for the opportune moment. They're leaving us down here to make us miserable and burn ourselves out on these stupid cages. But they'll see when we're out and they can't keep us behind bars. I'm gonna kill them. Real bad.
I don't know if this is going to help us going forward, but did you two get anything out of that visit to the library?
What was that about Eugenia's tiara?
Oh, it's magic, but I don't have that with me now. They took it.
I mean, yeah, we had a look at it in the Copper Rabbit, but you said magic. Like, how magic are we talking?
I don't know. The guy didn't know. Just, he said it's powerful. I said, was it good? Was it bad? He said, it's magic. It depends on who has it. And if Norris has it, then, well, I don't think he's doing any good.
That's it. Even with all the books and everything you took, we don't have anything.
Told you kind of everything we learned.
Kind of fucked with Hadonna.
I mean, I think we all assumed as much.
It would be nice if she turned up and helped. Remember back in the temple? I don't know. She was helpful then.
Her and Asmodean had a thing.
Oh?
Yeah. Apparently, a sour ending.
And we're on the losing side, apparently.
Wasn't that a name in one of the books, or?
There was a book, one of the books where we couldn't read it. We couldn't read the language. It was called, I think it was like Asmodean the Wise. It was the book that had the spell or the ritual or whatever it was that Sops used to bring back Hadonna. I know the librarian seemed pretty terrified by the whole idea, and she called him an old one.
So we're really screwed.
Yeah.
I mean, the silver lining is we could potentially die today and not have to deal with any of that.
That's my boy.
I guess that's kind of one way to look at it.
There's endless possibilities of positivity. Apparently.
If you expect nothing, you can never be disappointed.
This is true.
Just thinking about Hadonna, I'm going to I kind of sit down. I'm just kind of focusing on the mark and what happened then. I don't know, like reaching for something, anything.
You remember the cave with Sops and her booming before the mark appeared on all of you. Something she said then, she said again later on in the Temple of Devotion and Purity when she appeared. Do right by love.
Sitting there, I kind of say that out. Do right by love.
What?
Adonis said that to us. Do right by love.
What about Colin?
What about him?
What happened? What did we do with those bag of bones again?
Burned it.
We laid him to rest.
I mean,
Is that right? Does that count for something?
I have the letter.
I think it would be nice if Eugenia knew.
Tried to tell her.
Kind of missed that opportunity.
I mean, they took all our stuff.
Did you read it?
I mean, she's nowhere near us. That doesn't help us in the moment.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, look, the whole reason we're here is we're trying to do right by love. We're trying to save Nate's wife. How much more right by love can you get? You could have just ran off and eloped with someone else. You know, that would be doing wrong. Just generally.
Wait a minute. Guys, I love you. And I look up to kind of see if Adonna's going to do anything.
The cellar door opens.
Freedom!
No, it actually does.
Fuck off.
The cellar door is opened.
What?
And you hear the footsteps. There seems to be 3 sets or 3 pairs. The sound of armor clinking makes its way down the stairs, and guards emerge.
As the cell door opens, I look at Nate and I also say, I love you also, my friend.
I love you guys too.
You're fine, I guess.
Fessa,
Come on.
I hate you.
What about me?
but do you love to hate me?
Silence. 4 guards approach the doors, each with a key. They move in, and wrapped in between the shackles are a chain, and you're all linked together. Nate at the front. We are moving through the Flatstom estate. You are to keep your eyes on the ground, as requested, as ordered by Master Norris Flatstom.
I keep my eyes up.
You interrupted a really tender moment between my friends and I.
Move.
Hey, Gerd,
Move.
I love you.
The guard at the front kind of blushes, and then he doesn't know what to do with it. And his commanding officer just kind of eyeballs him and looks at the chains, and then you're dragged. And the chains, you're all kind of pulled at the same time. As Nate's pulled, Thea's pulled, Thane's pulled, and Hephaestus is pulled at the end.
Now we're the chain gang.
Silence. Your words are not fit to be spoke in this great home.
This grey home is not fit for much.
I said silence.
I don't care.
He reaches for a baton on his side.
I just stare at him.
There's 2 guards at the front that are kind of keeping an eye. The commanding officer, if he is kind of next, is between you and Thane, with another guard at either side of you. And then there's 2 behind you, then Hephaestus. You are led through a kind of a double door that kind of flaps open and into a corridor. It's quite long. The floor is a deep, dark red mahogany, and there's just hues of sort of smoky purples kind of aged into it. And your footsteps and the footsteps of the guards just echo around all of you. You are led down this corridor through columns, and on your right you just see kind of a grand open foyer with a staircase in the middle that leads upwards to the first, second, and third floor, with a spiraling balcony all around on each floor looking down here into this corridor. You are led straight down this corridor. Immediately the guards turn right and you walk past the front door. Again, under this balcony, you are not crossing the threshold of this house, and you are led straight past the front door, and then another immediate sharp right, and then a left. And the four of you and the 6 guards are standing in front of 2 very large, deep, dark ash doors. There in silence, with the guards just staring straight ahead at the door, you hear a low murmuring of music, sort of echoing and hitting and muffled through the door at you. As the music plays, the doors open and groan slowly. And in front of you, you just see this long, wide, elegant ballroom, trestled from the wall and the door that you're standing to, just rows of empty chairs, all facing this huge stained glass window that looks out onto Lake Capulet. And there in the distance, you just see the 2 moons of Arcanum staring down, facing into the scene. The view is obscured by a giant basalt statue fixed in the room in a recess in the floor. Your eyes are drawn to that, and you just see a thick, black, viscous liquid bubbling, oozing, and shimmering at the base of the statue. And at the end of the rows of chairs, all the seats are empty, bar 4 at the front. And you see Norris and 3 hooded figures sat next to him.
But that statue right in the center. Of anything of interest?
So this room is about 90 feet, if not 100 feet long. Like this is a grand ballroom. This is where some of the biggest feasts and fetes and parties and balls were held in Arcanum. The ceilings are exceptionally tall. There are chandeliers hanging every 10 feet. There's just this long gold spiraling chandelier with candles lit. You just see portraits and paintings lining the wall, soft furnishings everywhere, just kind of curtains and tapestries suspended. The floor is a crisp white black marble. And well, as the 4 of you and the guards are staring, Norris turns in his chair and smiles. Well, Nathaniel, if you are going to marry into the family, we figured it should be a proper affair. And the music gets louder as the wedding march starts to play, and the guards shove you into the room. As you make your way in, Norris kind of looks over, and you can hear his little Weasley laugh, and then some whispering at the front, and I should remind you all that you need to be on your best behavior. As you move in, he gestures at the wall that the threshold that you just crossed, and as the doors close behind you, on either side, you see Roderick Rotfinger and Glaive, the bald half-elf assassin with part of her ear broken and a fairly nasty bruise on the side of her head. Roderick just kind of gives you kind of a 4-finger wave. Glaive just stares malevolently at the 4 of you. Oh, well, now, come on. This is meant to be a party. We're celebrating Nathaniel's betrothal to my sister. Why the glum faces?
This is my happy face, Norris.
Oh, I think we can do better than that. This is meant to be a happy occasion. Eugenia is finally getting married. No?
Screw you, Norris.
Thea Burbage. Or should I say Isidrum? Is that what you go by, Quillo? And one of the figures pulls their hood back, and Quillo Isidrum is sitting there, and he just stares at you, and he just gives you a very slow wave.
All the colour drains from Fia's face.
He reaches kind of to the collar on his shirt, and he pulls out a locket that looks exactly like the one he gave you. Ascending stone, sis. Well, we needed eyes and ears. So thank you.
She starts crying. She's broken.
And Quillow's not restrained.
No. Oh, come now. Quillow's revealed himself. Everybody, just get this over with. No one likes a surprise at a wedding. The figure closest to Norris, set between him and Quillow, pulls back the cloaked hood, and you just see this grey orc man with two kind of giant tusks protruding from his lower jaw, a very well-trimmed beard, a slick black ponytail, and he just kind of squares up and looks at you and kind of puffs out his chest a small bit. Have any of you met Councillor Deep River before? Gartok? Prisoners, Gartok. And Gartok just nods. Oh, come now, Gartok. Some manners. Greetings. And he kind of gestures at Norris. They're like, they didn't say anything. Would you mind? And he gestures to the person at the end. Not at all. And the hood is pulled back. And Eve Ville is sitting there. And she just gives you a dainty little wave, Hephaestus. Darling, you don't look so hot. And I mean that literally and figuratively, dearie. Not happy to see your Aunt Evie? Not even a smile?
Not currently.
Oh, Heffy. Bubba. Please. Just a teeny smile for Auntie Eve.
Go die in a hole.
Oh, that's my girl. Oh. Nate. Look at what you're wearing. On your wedding day. I suppose it's the best you could afford. Well, now that you've married into the family, all this is yours, of course. Until you're dead, which is pretty much right after you get married to Eugenia, in case that wasn't clear to you. I think the others might have figured it out.
You're killing my vibe. You're a real buzzkill, man. You're no fun. What happened to you?
A lot, Thane, but I've worked through it. I found my thing. And I feel a lot happier for it. Nothing like hoarding power and wealth to make one feel better about oneself.
You do seem really well adjusted.
Thank you. And he smiles. He kind of takes a seat, and the others just kind of just stare straight ahead. With the four of you here standing at the top, you're shrugged into seats. Nate, you are unchained from the others, but a guard stands with a blade pointed at you. The four of you can now take in the statue. It is a basalt statue, and it's set into this pool that seems to have been constructed around it and filled in. And that black liquid is such a acidic, putrid smell, like tar and petrol, violent citric, like it's stinging your eyes even from here, and you're about 10 feet away from the edge. The statue itself, climbing or erupting out of it, you just see the upper legs and torso of a man, and hand outstretched and a demented look on his face. Statue is about 15 foot tall, not including that base. In his hand, as you kind of fix on it, you see a heart, and there is a hole in his chest, and it looks as if it's bleeding even now. Even though it's carved out of stone, it looks as if blood or something is oozing from it. You hear footsteps coming from a door just off to your right, just a small little kind of corridor, and out steps Ardat, wearing the same robes, but he has a white strip of fabric just draped over his shoulders. And at the ends of both, there's just two red eyes embroidered into it that just stare out. He moves to the front and he kind of puts himself between Norris and Nate. I believe it's time. All rise. Now. A guard just basically yanks the chains up, and you're forced up onto your feet out of your seats. Music starts playing, And the wedding march strums up again.
I look to the door where we came from.
They open, and there, standing in a cream and white lace dress, is Eugenia Flatstom. A veil pulled over her face, and as the music plays, she steps, and each step echoes into and around you. She moves up through the aisle, and a long, flowing trail woven between the dress and the veil drape over her shoulders, and it looks almost as if it's too much for anyone to carry, let alone Eugenia Flatstom, that tall, gangly wisp of an old woman. But there's something off, and she continues to march straight towards the top of the aisle. And as she reaches the cusp of it, she turns to Norris, and he turns to face her, and he pulls the veil back. You have never looked more beautiful, my dear, dear, sweet Eugenia. And he kisses her on the cheek. And she turns, Nate, to face you, and the rest of you can see her. And what you saw in the cell, she looks, it's like a painted version of what Eugenia should look like. But there's a smile on her face that her eyes betray. Woven into her hair, this beehive dew, set into it with the veil, is her blue gemstone tiara, blue flowers. Nathaniel, it's like a dream. My brother is here, and he accepts us.
I don't know if we should do this.
No, it's okay, my love. He's given us his blessing.
It's not about Norris, though. It's not about me.
What do you mean?
I don't think you really love me. I think you're just looking for the love you lost.
Norris kind of just scowls and shuffs, and Arda kind of wedges himself between the both of you, just kind of a little bit, just kind of pushing you kind of away from each other. Now, you two, you can wait until we've had the vows, and there's a ceremony, as is the tradition. You can kiss and make up afterwards. Dearly detested, we're gathered here today to bear witness to not only a wedding between this woman and this, and Ardat looks you up and down, Nate, man. No, something more grand, more befitting of our time and our energy is to take place here and now. When I came to this city, when I came to Tezrab seeking out Norris Flatstom, I wanted to only tear his throat from his body and throw his pasty, weaselly corpse into the lake from these cliffs. The man convinced me otherwise. He's an adept speaker. He vowed to me that I could have true revenge. He even offered the strange woman as bait for the real prize. With his backing and his connections, and Ardat looks at the others sitting around him, I secured this grand idol, and he gestures upwards without turning, of Asmodean the Wise. The ritual my dear late sister and I were only trifling with was merely an appetizer, a taste of what it could truly be, what real power, his wisdom. And thanks to all of you. And Ardat looks at the gang. I've unlocked the secrets to suffering and redemption, to spare the soul of so much hurt, or to inflict upon it 1,000 lifetimes of sorrow. Eugenia, Flatstom, and Ardit takes her hand. Step into this pool, and you and this man shall forever be joined in matrimony. Till death do you part. And Norris laughs. Eugenia, guided by Ardit, steps towards the pool. Her footsteps are a little bit shaky, but with Ardit's hand, she manages to climb down 2 steps, and she's just sort of above her knees, and the dress is just seeping into this black ooze. It bubbles and hisses and shakes and quivers all around her, and you see that she's kind of wincing, almost as if she's in pain. She turns and she holds a hand out to you, Nate. Colin?
Hi, Eugenia.
You see that her hand is just trembling midair. It's just shaking.
I can't let you do this alone. I gotta take her hand and I say, it's gonna be okay. And I step forward.
As you step into the sludge, you feel it's like it's a searing heat that kind of rushes through you. It's almost, you can feel it sort of, it's seeped into your clothes and now it's at your skin, and it's like an electricity and a fire all at the same time, and it hurts, but you see that she's kind of fighting it as she stands there, and you can just, her hand is literally, both now are shaking at her side, and she's kind of barely holding herself up. Asmodean, and looking upwards, Arda exclaims, "Where there is love, there is hate. Where there is light, there is darkness. In those shadows, free us." And the sludge lights up. And beneath your feet, Nate, you just see 8 glyphs circling the pool, light, and just sort of erupts underneath you. The rest of you see in the statue's hand the heart glow completely red. Energy in the room crackles and vibrates, and the eyes on the statue begin to glow. As you feel the heat become so intense and so agonizing, Nate, that you feel the life being pulled out of you and your eyes rolling back into your head. You just hear, "No." And you find yourself standing in a place that looks very, very familiar. A place that, as you look around, you dreamed of it once before. A long, white chapel. Rows of seats filled with the faces of people from Herb. They're all just staring. Nobody is smiling. Nobody's doing anything. And as you kind of get a fix, your eyes land on a stone altar. 3 heavy stones, 2 fat boulders with a thin piece of slate across it. And as you look, you see that your hands are bound, tied in rope. And at the end of it, the rope trails and leads to the altar. Moving slowly through this, each step, the scene around you begins to kind of fade. The faces fade, the walls fade, the benches just evaporate into light. But the rope remains, and the stones remain. And as you approach, you see that the rope is sort of draped across the altar. And coming from the other side, you see Eugenia Flatstom. That same day in Herb. Dress a little muddy, hair a little messy, but with just this beaming smile on her face. Her hands are bound in rope as well. And as she gets closer, the rope seems to almost shrink in distance between you until your hands are almost touching.
I'll take her by the hand.
I don't know where to start, Nathaniel. But I must tell you how sorry I truly am. I was a foolish woman. I don't expect or deserve your forgiveness. But I can free you from this. You don't love me.
I'm sorry.
She lowers her head a little bit, and you just see some kind of tears just trailing down. That's okay.
But you are loved.
Her face flushes a little bit. She lifts her head up. I don't love you. But you are loved. It was a silly dream. All of this. In herb. Those letters. Oh, the things I wrote. I haven't been able to look at myself, truly see myself, Nathaniel, in a very, very long time. And it's now at the end I do. I thought the smile I saw reflected in your eyes, in all their eyes, that love made me something. That them loving me made me worthy. And in truth, much of that love I returned. But I didn't love myself. And that's where you have to start, Nathaniel. I am old, and my life is over. Yours doesn't have to be. You are loved. And she reaches up to her hair and she pulls the tiara free. She puts it in your hands and the rope just starts to fade away. I give you my heart, Nathaniel. Love is a light in the darkness. And remember that to truly know, to truly love someone, you must accept them, their light and their dark. But the same goes for loving yourself. Accept your light and your darkness. And then you will be happy and free. The tiara breaks, and in your hands you're holding the blue gemstone. I'm leaving now, Nathaniel. I'm tired. I go to a better place. She will buy you time. And she stares off into that void of light. She is waiting for you. Run or fight. Just be yourself, Nathaniel. And she leans in and she kisses you on the forehead. And she takes a step back and she is just overwhelmed by light, that it just pours out of every part of her until she just becomes a part of it, and you just see the smile fading. Love is a light. The ballroom explodes with just white, brilliant light, and the sludge and the statue are just jettisoned. The statue cracks and smashes. Eugenia falls into a slump against the steps. Nate, you find yourself standing there holding a blue gemstone in your hands. It cracks slightly, and you just see a tiny ray of light emerging from it. And then a voice booms throughout the ballroom.
Love should never be twisted into a weapon. It can be used to do harm and take so much away. Love in the wrong hands can be a poison, seeping into a soul and spirit, draining it of its light, until nothing is left. Love in the wrong hands is a dangerous and terrifying thing. I am your Hedana. Take up your weapons, take up your light, and do right by love.
And a wave of light just rushes from the gemstone. The shackles on your hands crack and break. Your weapons manifest in front of you. The light explodes. Ardat, Norris, the guards, Roderick, Glaive, and the guests are knocked out of their seats. Ardat roars and leaps upwards. We end it there. This was Romancing the Dungeon. You've been listening to Diarmid as Thane Greyline, Amber as Hephaestus Tenderson, Louise as Fia Isidrim, and Sam as Nathaniel Obsidian McKnight. Special thanks to Martin Rind for our theme tune Love Chords. I'm Declan and I've been your Dungeon Master, and if you like what you heard, and you're not a ball of tears, I've clearly doing my job wrong. But if you'd like to know more about the show and who we are and what we're doing, and you want to just get really invested into the world of Romancing the Dungeon, then check us out on social media at D8 Dungeon. There's plenty of behind-the-scenes shenanigans, giveaways, a growing community of some wonderful, wonderful people who really support and love the show, and we love them back. We're back in 2 weeks' time for the penultimate episode, and we'll see you then.
You attention hog fiend. Let him talk.
That aimed at me or Ardat? Because I've
You're
been
phony.
The fiend.